as we inch closer to the end of the regular season in 2024 and potentially the Las Vegas Raiders sealing the number 1 overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, there's some questions on the horizon. Namely, who's going to be that starting quarterback for the Raiders in the long term? I think Aiden O'Connell could push, but we touched on that in another video. Overall, I think there's a bigger thing that we have to consider here, though, and that is, should the Las Vegas Raiders draft Shedeur Sanders? Now, obviously, as we get into the pre-draft process, we'll do more of an in-depth dive and looking at the tape from Shedeur Sanders, but just taking it on face value from what we've seen so far. In the past couple of seasons, we have seen franchise quarterbacks go to franchises that may not be the most equipped. Teams like the Carolina Panthers with Bryce Young, also Anthony Richardson, even though Richardson's lucky got some weapons and some help, but he was a project, and we knew that as he was coming up out of LSU and everything, or Florida, excuse me. I always get those two confused. Anyway, geography was never my strong suit. But with Shedeur Sanders, there is a lot of things to consider. And, I mean, just looking at what he's done over in Colorado in the last couple of years, it's been pretty good. Obviously, 27 touchdown passes in his junior year there with his dad. Obviously, completing 69.3% of his passes is impressive. But with what he's done this year, I think that it could warrant potentially a top 3 selection in the 2025 NFL Draft. And yes, completing over 74% of his passes for 35 touchdowns and 8 picks. And yes, he has played very well. And the couple of things you really like about him is that, yes, he is a confident passer. He can make all of the throws. He's a plus athlete. And, I do think that one of the small things that you do notice about him is, unfortunately, he does too much. He doesn't necessarily take what the defense gives him, and he always tries to make that home run play, which I don't necessarily mind. In fact, I would much rather have it that way than the other way around. But at the same time, I think that with what he does to his body and trying to extend plays and all that, in the NFL, that's clearly not going to fly. He's going to have to find a way to protect himself, at least get rid of the football, maybe even throw it into the dirt and live to see another day. So overall, for Shedeur Sanders, I think that, this is definitely an option for the Raiders. And I think that Cam Ward is also another option here. I also think Aiden O'Connell is an option here. But as far as should they draft him, I could see the case for it. But at the same time, I think that the Raiders have a lot more needs other than quarterback here. And if you want a young quarterback to succeed with your team, you got to help him out. And yes, they've got some weapons, Brock Bowers, also Jacoby Myers. We like Trey Tucker a lot. But there's really no running game at the Raiders right now. The offensive line is in flux. The defense is probably has, if everybody's back, then that would be a different conversation. But right now, especially at corner, we have some questions. Let's just put it mildly. And so, for the Raiders to select Shedeur Sanders, I wouldn't be against it, but I would also be okay if they traded back, maybe got some nice in the later part of the second round, maybe even the third round, and really taking more stabs at this dartboard. But overall, I think it could be interesting if Shedeur Sanders did, in fact, make his way over to the Las Vegas Raiders and potentially be their new franchise quarterback. But overall, let us know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below, and we'll see you on the next video.